he's a very explosive, dangerous guy. You know, you've seen him run. When he runs, it doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he's covering a lot of territory. That's where he's not like Percy. You know, Percy's not quite the same stature, but boy, you know, he's a very gifted athlete and a very, you know, accomplished quarterback at this stage of his career. So it's, you know, choose your weapons here, choose your poison. I mean, they're really, they can threat you in a lot of different ways. You know, it's going to be tough because they've got a couple different personalities. You know, they were wide open in the Rose Bowl and have that capability, but they also can run the ball, you know, right at you and make it tough to stop you. And they were one of the few teams last year that did that to us. You know, not many teams have done that to us, but they took the ball and jammed it right down our throats last year in that second half, and did the same thing this past week. So it's, you know, we better strap it up and be ready. It's a tough outfit we're playing. I mean, they've got good players at every position. I'm really impressed with their offensive line. They've really grown, I think, and they were good last year, but they continue to grow. And number 75 is a really new starter. He might be the best guy they've got. They've got a lot of good players. I don't mean the disrespectful way to the other guys. But everybody's focused on some of the other guys. You know, 75 wants to transfer. We'll take him. You know, I'm not tampering here. And then the other thing too, I mean, they graduate. Their heaviest graduation losses were up front. But you know, if you turn on the film, as good as they were a year ago, you turn on the film this year, and it looks the same. These guys they're very well coached. They're very talented. They're just and obviously they're very deep because they graduate guys. The next guys look the same. I go back to 06. You know, they just throttled us in 05. I think they graduated 8 or 9 guys to the NFL at that defense. They came into our game in 06 ranked higher than they were the year. It's a tough challenge. You know, we moved the ball a little bit last year and scored a few points, and that's what we're going to have to do this year to have an opportunity.
I think it's got to be a combination of everything. You know, I mean, not only are they very talented, that's obvious. They have a lot of talented players. They run a very good scheme. And I think if whatever scheme they were in would be a good scheme because of how good they are. And, you know, they fly around with the football. I mean, they're very fast, they're very quick. And so, you know, it looks very impressive on film. And it's going to be tough. You know, we're going to have to prepare very hard this week, you know, to give ourselves a chance because, you know, they do a lot of good things on defense. And we have to be very, you know, fundamentally sound with what we're doing. We have to be very confident in our game plan, and we have to just go out there and execute and play through the ups and downs. I mean, it's going to be very important that we, you know, focus on what we need to do every single play and not look too far down, you know, during the game to, you know, later on in the game. Just worry about the next play.
You know, they're really talented. You know, they're all really athletic, run to the ball, great team defense, and they definitely have a lot of good athletes. So we're just gonna have to match their intensity on Saturday, and that's gonna come with a great week of practice and preparation.
Ohio State, they get the cream of the crop. Recruits every year, year in and year out. They're done recruiting a year before before everybody else is in that class. So they got a lot of guys, a lot of experienced guys, a lot of a freak athlete in Terrell Pryor that makes a lot of plays that he can throw the ball downfield or can run over you. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us.
It can build on a lot, or it can, you know, take away from it. It matters what kind of game we come out and play. You know, win or lose, we have to play our style of football. We can't be sloppy. We can't make a lot of mistakes. We got to come out and we got to play fundamentally sound. We got to play mentally tough, and we got to give them the fight of their lives. You know? And if we can do that, then you know, we've really done our job, win, lose, or draw.
The Ohio State.
Some of them, you know, I think probably really, you know, are worked up about it. But you know, some of them, I know I room with a guy from Ohio, Steve Bigak, you know, and he really doesn't give two craps about Ohio State. You know, he'd rather be playing Notre Dame. Of course, he's Catholic. But the point is, you know, everyone's got those teams that they love, and everyone's got those teams that they hate. And certainly, if you grew up, you know, in Iowa, you know, Ohio State's probably on the later list. But at the same time, you know, anytime you're playing a great team like this, you've got to get worked up for the game. You know, you can't go in there expecting to just play and have everything work out. You've really got to pay attention and focus on the little details, because that's where the game's going to be won and lost.